Welcome to the Funeral Funds Life Insurance Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Vandervate from Funeral Funds of America, and you can find us at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, FUNDS.com. Whether you're interested in term life, whole life, mortgage protection, annuities, disability, business continuation, or final expense life insurance, we have you covered. Our team of experienced professionals will guide you through the complexities of insurance products to help you make an informed decision. In this podcast, I'm going to be discussing what does cremation insurance cover. So I've got 5 points I want to cover today about what cremation insurance covers. The first thing cremation insurance is going to cover is just all the financial responsibility and costs surrounding the cremation itself. And that can be the transportation of the body, that can be the actual cremation itself, that can be getting the death certificates and everything like that. And you don't always need to go to a funeral home to do that. In fact, most funeral homes don't cremate on site. They actually contract that out. And when you call the funeral home, they're going to charge you an extra $400 or $500 just for making those arrangements. When in most cases, you can go directly to the crematory or the crematorium, just take care of that over the phone. And that way you kind of bypass the middleman. And then once the cremation's performed, the remains of your loved one come home in a cardboard box or an urn. It's a good way to save some money. But just understand that, cremation insurance is going to cover all of that. Now, some other things that cremation insurance cover too are like final medical expenses because, it's not like everybody just like they're here right now and then they're gone, in the blink of an eye, heart attack or something like that. Sometimes, unfortunately, we're in the medical system and hospitals and long-term care and adult facilities and stuff like that. And, there's just some medical costs that just add up. So if you have a cremation insurance policy and not all of the money is taken up by the actual cremation and arrangements itself from that standpoint, that extra money can be used for anything, including medical bills. It is such a blessing for some families that, if there, when there's money left over. So, the actual cost of a cremation without a service or anything, right now it's probably going to be $1,000 to $2,000, just kind of on average, depending where you live. So if you've got a $5,000 or a $10,000 policy, there's some extra money left over. If you were to die sooner than anybody thought. Now, keep in mind, if you got a $5,000 policy and you live another 10, 15 years, what else is happening in the background that could eat away some of that money? Yeah, inflation, right? So we always recommend getting a little bit more coverage right off the bat because that will allow some money to be left over if you died like sooner rather than later or ended up with some medical bills. But also, if you're given the gift and the blessing of living a long time, there's extra money in there that can be used to offset inflation. So let's say you got a $10,000 policy and the cremation and kind of those arrangements for around 2 grand. Well, there's $8,000 left there. That can be used for medical expenses or for our next topic, outstanding debts. In some cases, there's going to be some credit card debt or auto loans or just you owe people money or taxes or stuff like that. So in our example, if you had a $10,000 policy and only 2,000 was taken up by the cremation itself, there's $8,000 left that could be spent on other things as well. In addition to that, other end of life expenses. And, just it seems like when it rains, it pours, right? So when things typically go from bad to worse, all sorts of expenses start popping up. You can have specialists and physical therapists and, special treatment measures and perhaps even, medicines that are kind of experimental and stuff like that, that the insurance companies won't cover. So yeah, if you've got that $10,000 policy and you're only going to use 2,000, if there's 8,000, if you had a $20,000 policy, there's going to be $18,000 left. So just keep in mind, this money can be used for a lot of things, including if needed travel expenses. So, if family lives out of state or if you live out of state and they've got to fly to your area and pick up the cremated remains and then fly it back, that way the family's not burdened by those costs either. There's just always things that pop up because, frankly, most of us are kind of just used to living, right? And we're not used to dealing with people that we love and care about dying. And there's just, we've got a bunch of information on our website at funeralfunds.com, things that you can be aware of and be prepared for. And we've got some lists on there too, some very extensive lists on common expenses and, cost of different things that people often forget. And if you go through that list, you'll be so well prepared, and you'll understand where some of this money is going to need to go, and how to kind of just allocate where those funds are going to go. So I hope that's given you a good idea of what cremation insurance does cover. My name is Randy Vandervate, and I hope this podcast has been helpful to you. Funeral Funds of America can help you qualify for first day coverage or benefits at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, funds.com. And our phone number is 888-862-9456. We will be blessed to help you with this in the future. Until that day comes, stay safe, take care, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.